Namaste. We're getting ready to start the service now, and welcome to the Cosmic Center of Spiritual Life. I'm Reverend Nancy Lee. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to the Cosmic Center of Spiritual Life. And we're so glad to have you here today. I'm Reverend Nancy Lee, and I will, if you haven't been with me before, I usually we'll do some prayers and some I am affirmations, forgiveness and gratitude. And then I will sit and channel a little bit for the rest of the service. So welcome everyone. First of all, on your page, we'll go to say the Lord's Prayer. But I want to say a prayer before we say that. We thank you, Father, Mother God, for this great and wonderful privilege to be here with these divine souls. We ask that the healing angels, the guides, the loved ones, the teachers, the holy ones, the masters, the gurus, the great ones, the holy angels, archangels, and spiritual helpers, Master Choa Kapsui, Mahagari Shimilin Kuan Yin, and their designated healing angels, to come forth and work and speak through me to give them inspiration, upliftment, guidance, healing, divine protection, divine blessings, divine love, and peace and harmony in their hearts. We thank you again, Father, Mother God, for this great and wonderful privilege to be here with these divine souls. So be it, so be it, so be it. So on your first page, we're going to recite the Lord's Prayer. And the Lord's Prayer is connected with all of the chakras in the body. So when we say our Father which art in heaven, that's connected with your crown chakra. When we say hallowed be thy name, that's the Ajna chakra, which is right here, and the throat chakra. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done is connected to the heart and the front and back solar plexus. And then give us this day our daily bread is connected to the navel and the front and back spleen chakras. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors is with the Meng Meng chakra. A lot of people don't know what that is. It's directly behind the navel. In pranic healing, we study 11 chakras, not just 7. Okay. And that is one of the chakras that most people don't know about. And lead us not into temptation is the back, heart, crown, sex, and throat chakra, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, is the basic chakra or the root chakra that people call it. The power is the front and back spleen chakra, and the glory is the Meng Meng chakra again. Forever is the crown, and then of course, amen. So we're going to recite that, and then I'm going to play the music to the Lord's Prayer. So, and sing a little bit, okay? So let's start out. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory, forever. Amen. You can sing along if you like. Our Father, Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory Ooh, that lifts your spirits, doesn't it? Okay, on the next page, we're going to say the I am affirmation. So the I am affirmation connects you to your higher soul. And when we come into this earth, we have a huge soul. All of it does not fit into our small bodies. So we have what is called an incarnated soul and a higher soul, okay? They are not disconnected. But because of a lot of things that happen on this earth plane and the lower vibrations on this earth plane, we often feel very disconnected from our higher soul. So an affirmation like this will remind you to connect again and to be divinely guided throughout each and every moment of your day. When I wake in the morning, I will say the Lord's Prayer because that clears my chakras. As I said, there's chakras that are connected to the Lord's Prayer, and it clears that energy out for you. And then I will say, let me be divinely guided throughout each and every moment of this day. Affirmations bring in positive and affirm to the universe what you want, and you're invoking for the day to be a good day, and to bring in the higher vibration and not to let other things seep in and, throw you off kilter, which is hard to do some days, isn't it? Especially when we have a full moon. Okay, so we're going to say the I am affirmation. I am that I am. I am that I am. I'm not my body. I'm not my emotions. I'm not my thoughts. I am not my mind. The mind is only a subtle instrument of the soul. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, divine power. I am one with the higher soul. I am that I am. I am one with the divine spark. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. And I am one with God. I am one with all. Okay, so let me explain something to you. As we grow consciously, we have to be conscious, living consciously. And so we have to be very careful about what we connect to the I am. So we have to consciously watch our words, our actions, and our deeds. As we do so, and as you go through the day, if you say, I am angry, you're connecting that to your soul. The I am is the soul. So we don't want to connect those things. So be very conscious as you go through your day, what you're connecting to the I am to. So if you say, I am feeling angry, that's a different thing. You're connecting it to the emotion of anger. You're not connecting it directly to your soul. So as we go through these higher vibrational places, which we are heading for, and there's more higher vibration coming on earth than there ever has been before. As we go through those times, you want to remember that we have to become more conscious about what we're saying, thinking, and doing, and try to keep that at a higher vibrational level. So we'll go now, and the next thing on the thing is invoking the violet flame. The violet flame is on the wall here, and it is the Holy Trinity, which we can invoke the violet flame into us to purify and transmute things. So as we go along, we want to continually to purge out of our emotional bodies, out of our mental bodies, out of our spiritual bodies, any negativity that we've attached to, because as we go into these new vibrations, you don't want to take the old into the new. It's not going to go anyway. So it'll hold you back from getting into these higher vibrations. Because if we have doubt about ourselves, anger, fear, all of these things, it's like sipping through a straw and you pinch the straw. You don't have that flow of energy. And when you go into negative thought forms or negative energies or negative entities may be attached, if you have those things attached to you, it is holding you back from going into a higher vibration and for you to being all that you can be. Now, this is the thing about being all that we can be. If we strive to be all that we can be, we're helping people that way. But if we're out to help people, and everybody in here is a spiritual person, and I'm sure you all want to help people, right? You want to see them do better. You're always giving to other people and everything. But if you're not all that you can be and you're resonating in the same vibration they are, then that's not really helping them. Okay? If you're enabling them in any way, shape, or form, that's not helping them, is it? It is about being all that we can be, vibrating at the highest level we can be, and we're blessing them and helping in the best way we can. Like it's been said to me, and I love this phrase, when you're on an airplane and the oxygen mask comes down and you have a child with you, what does it say? Put the oxygen mask on yourself first, okay? And then give it to the child. We can't help others if we're resonating in the low vibration. We're helping others much more. We can. It's not that you can't, but we can help others much better if we raise ourselves up. We have a higher vibration and we're giving our light to those others. And like my spiritual teacher said, you don't have to be a spiritual doormat for anybody. We are all spiritual people, and we want to give, and we want to come to people with love, and we want to have good relationships with people. But if people are abusing that, manipulating you, or manipulating situations, that's not healthy for them or you. So healthy boundaries is one thing that a lot of spiritual people don't have. You know, I struggle with it myself to say no to somebody when they're in need. But sometimes you have to put your foot down, don't you? And you have to say, no, this isn't flying with me. You know, it's just, they're not at the same vibration. They're using the situation because they are vibrating in a victim pattern, or they're manipulators of some sort, and that's okay. But you don't have to enable that behavior, do you? So staying in your highest and best is one of the things that the gifts that you give to yourself and to others. And remember, you are to give to yourself too. A lot of people that are on their spiritual path and helping other people, I tell them, when I look at them spiritually through the energy, I see them so far back in the line, it's hard for me to get them out of there. You know, we have to put ourselves first sometimes. And by doing so, it's not being selfish or narcissistic. It is being all that we can be and raising our vibration up. We can be loving and kind and all these things, but we don't have to be a spiritual doormat. We can put healthy boundaries down. We can conduct ourselves in a very spiritual, honorable way for ourselves. We have to honor ourselves. And then we can honor other people in a much better way. We have to know our own worthiness, that we're divine children of God. We're divine sparks. We are the kingdom. When it talks about the kingdom, we are that kingdom. We're the creation of God. We're the royalty. Okay? So invoking the violet flame helps to transmute all causes and cores that are not God's desire. So we're going to repeat this 3 times. Transmute with the violet fire all causes and cores of God's desire. I am a being of cause alone that causes love, the sacred tone. Transmute by violet fire all causes and cores not of God's desire. I am a being of cause alone that cause is love, the sacred tone. Transmute by violet fire all causes and cores not of God's desire. I am a being of cause alone that cause is love, the sacred tone. Okay. And we're not going to do the singing here. We'll have some music in a little bit. Okay, so as we are going through this transformation, this great awakening, this magnificent time to return the earth to its divine state, to heaven on earth. And that's where we're headed for. So we have to bless the earth or call out and invoke for the earth to claim its rightful place, its rightful higher fifth dimensional frequency of love. And as we do that, then we'll go to the next thing and say the great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, light descends on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, love streams forth into the hearts of men. Christ consciousness returns to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, purpose guides the little will of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, the plan of love and light works out and seals the door where evil dwells. Light, love, and power restores the planet on earth. And the 3 things that I have been told by Spirit that really help us to change our vibration. And at this particular time, we want to raise our vibration and hold that vibration, is through empowerment. Empowerment comes through an affirmation like, I am that I am. And then we do forgiveness, okay? And as we do forgiveness, we move forth into we're erasing all karmic ties. Forgiveness is something that people don't quite understand. They think that you're forgiving them and you're doing it for them. You're doing it for yourself, okay? When you do forgiveness, it's like you have a karmic tie with somebody or an old pattern with somebody. When you do forgiveness, before that, it's like the 2 souls are chained together, okay? So when you do forgiveness, it breaks those chains, it breaks that pattern, it breaks that karmic tie with that person. You know how some people will keep repeating the same pattern with different people. Like somebody will get a divorce and they're so happy to be free of that person, and then they get married again and it's the same person in different clothing. You know, we keep repeating patterns lots of times until we become the observer of our lives. As we become the observer of our lives, then we start to see what isn't working for us and what patterns that we have either brought in from old lifetimes, past lifetimes, or what patterns we've brought in to this lifetime just with certain people. So, and lots of times it's a karmic tie, which is, you know, normal, or maybe you created some kind of new stuff. And we do that, we can really create some muckety muck, can't we? So as we move forward, we want to do forgiveness to change the energy between you and that situation, or you and that person, or a group of people. Whatever it is, we need to clean that energy between us. We need to do forgiveness. We need to cut the ties, and that will break the karmic ties. It'll on-chain your soul, so you don't have to keep repeating that over and over again. Now, energy, it works in an orbit like everything else on this earth. It orbits around. So you got a pattern, it's orbiting around. How do you get a pattern to be knocked out of that orbit? Well, everything is frequency, energy, and vibration. Okay, so you have to use a energy of sorts to knock that pattern out. So this is the pattern, it's going around, you want it out of the pattern, it comes out of the pattern. Okay, how do you do that? With forgiveness, with healing, with affirmations, with meditation, with clearing. There's all kinds of ways to do it. Lots of people like to do it at drum circles. Lots of people like to do it with sound healing. Some people do it with energetic healing, pranic healing, Reiki, all of these different types. And there's so many different types. Why is that? Why are there so many different types to do things? Well, it'd be pretty boring if there was only one type, actually. But the other thing is what resonates with your lineage. We came in with different lineages of our soul, and those lineages have a certain way to clear things. Like the Indian lineage will be different than the American lineage, or the other types of things. But that's okay. Like my grandmother used to tell me when I was a little girl, there's many ways to get to heaven. As it says in the Bible, there are many mansions in God's house. There are many ways, but what is resonating with you? And you will find your way. And if you ask for your teacher to appear, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. The right and perfect thing will come to you, but you have to align to that. And if you're hanging on to grudges or anger or fear or pain or sorrow or guilt or grief, that cuts you off from aligning with who you're really supposed to be and how you're really supposed to be vibrating at a different vibration. It cuts you off. So clearing, one of the best things to clear is forgiveness. So there is the joy of forgiveness in your pamphlet, and we will say that. I think it's right after the I am affirmation. Are you ready? Okay. I am flooding my being with every cell etheric record since the beginning of time with the joyful experience of divine forgiveness. In forgiving, I let go of all of the effects and misused energy impinging on my life and the lives of all humanity. I let go of the ignorance, confusion, and pain of this world. I know that I come to love life freely, and so I shall. This is the heart center of my existence, the joy of my forgiving life as it enters my awareness. From this moment forward, I am setting all life free into a higher vibration with the gift of forgiveness that my Father, Mother, God have given so freely into my keeping. I am the force of the violet flame of forgiveness, flooding the sweet earth. I am the joy of forgiveness. I am the joy of forgiveness. I am the joy of forgiveness. How does that make you feel when you say that? I'm the joy of forgiveness. That's what we came here on earth, is to find joy, to find our divine selves. We have forgotten lots of times. And it's, something that happens when we come on this earth plane. We forget our divineness. But as we come together in group, especially, and do meditation, and we do service, and we sing, and we do affirmations, we remind ourselves of who we really are. And we are that divine spark of God. We're that magnificent soul. And we are not limited. Limitations and fear and anger and pain and all this stuff that oftentimes we hang on to is actually, we're serving a false God. Okay? Because our God, our creator, our source, has only perfection in his eyes, or the divine eyes. Let's put it that way. We were created in perfection, but we have forgotten that we are perfect the way we are. And when you just say that I am perfect, it brings up inside of you a divine feeling of vibration of completeness. And oftentimes we don't feel complete. We feel like we may be less than, and that is not true at all. And I used to tell some of my clients, I do spiritual counseling, I'm a medium, and I work with clients on a daily basis. I used to say, if you could see what I see when I look at your aura and the divineness of you, you wouldn't doubt yourself 1 second, not 1 second. Because it's so magnificent. When you have the ability to look inside of somebody and see their true essence, and they can't even see it themselves, but you can see it. It's such a gift to be able to say to that person, you are a beautiful soul. You are a magnificent child of God. And, help them own that. It's beautiful. It's magnificent to empower ourselves back to where we came from, okay? So gratitude is another thing. So empowering yourself, the I am affirmation, forgiving yourself and others. And you oftentimes forgive yourself. We forget to forgive ourselves, don't we? Because we have so many misconceptions about who we are or what we're doing. So forgiving ourselves also. And we can do a pretty good head job on ourselves, can't we? I know I can. I'm like, oh, I shut it down a bit. And it plays in my head, and then I go, stop that, erase. Okay, gratitude to our Father and Mother. Beloved Father, Mother God, from your glorious heart, I came into being and into your loving heart one day. When my service here on earth is through, I shall return. Woo. Celebrating, returning back, right? Yay! I thank you for the privilege of having life and of having a physical embodiment during this sacred time when the permanent golden age of spiritual freedom is being established on earth. I thank you for the gift of transmission through the power of the violet transmitting flame, the amazing gift through which all that is not of the light and that I myself and others have created consciously and unconsciously shall be purified and returned to the light. I thank you for sustaining through the legions of the ascension flame, the open door through which this sweet earth and all life evolving upon her shall return home. To this end, I now, individually and collectively, as a surrogate on behalf of all humanity, offer my energies and my individual life stream as a holy grail through which the light of creation will now flow to fulfill the immaculate conception of the divine plan for this blessed planet. Assist me, beloved Mother, Father, God, to harmonize my outer self, my physical, etheric, mental, and emotional bodies. Through the grace of transfigurating divine love, invest in me with the power of magnetism and radiate the presence of divinity with every word, thought, action, and feeling I express from this moment forward. I am so grateful. And it is so. Beloved, I am. As we connect with our divine I am, we connect with all of the I ams. The I am presence in all of us then connects at a higher level, and we become one upon this earth. And we raise the vibration of this earth so that we can accept the fifth dimensional frequency of love, which is coming upon this earth. And we all are doing our part. And I'm so grateful to be a part of all of your lives and bringing this divine frequency here on earth. So I'm going to sit down and do a little channeling. And I see my little thing. This is the sacred geometry of divine love. It wanted to be known. It's flying off the table. So we want to connect with this geometry as you look upon it, because this is the planetary grid of transfiguring divine love. And that's the sacred geometry of it. So hopefully she'll stay where she needs to be. There we go. Okay. Oops, excuse me. Okay, so Spirit, I'm gonna get quiet for a minute and bring Spirit in. They already gave me some topics that I wrote down and what we need to talk about today. And today is going to be talking about ourselves and how we use energy. And those are the only two things that we have control of on this earth. If we think we have control of other things, think again. So, but we do know how to manifest and bring things in, don't we? But that comes from within, okay? So I'm just gonna get quiet for a minute and let Spirit come in. It's so beautiful to be able to be here with you all. We call ourselves Andreos. We're a group of beings that comes through Nancy to be guiding you and helping you. We're connected to the Divine 9 and the Divine 12 Council. So today we want to speak to you about how you use energy on this planet and how much more power you have over things when you are conscious of how you're using your energy. So there are only two things that you can control in this world. As Nancy has said, it's ourselves and how we use energy. We have no control over anything outside of ourselves. We do have control over what we're manifesting in our world, in our dimension, in our reality. One's reality is not the same as someone else's reality on the earth. As you know, you can grow up in a home with several children and they had a totally different experience than you did. So we are creating at all times, 24/7, our divine reality that we choose to manifest on this earth. And we have the God-given gift of choice on this earth. It's a magnificent thing. Some people don't think it's so magnificent because they don't like to change and they don't like to choose. They get very indecisive, don't they? So, and that's okay too. Everything is in divine and perfect order at all times. We just can't always see that through our human being lives and our vision. But if you practice in meditation and bringing your spiritual vibration up, then you're able to control or to manifest in a totally different way and bring things to you because you're totally aligned with the divineness within you. We may think that we have control over things outside of our lives. And if we have a high vibration, we are affecting other people or other situations in our lives. So it may seem as though you have control. But the higher you bring a vibration into a relationship, into a situation, into anything, the difference about manifesting at that vibration and a lower vibration is very, very substantial, the difference. Because if you're vibrating at a higher vibration and you have the ability to really observe what's happening, you're totally aligned with your divine spirit and it connects into this wonderful field of where you can manifest miracles coming into your life. Well, miracles, they're normal things. People think that they're miracles because they don't really understand why they happen one minute and they don't the other minute, because they're not aligned with the divineness. They're not aligned with their higher soul. They're not aligned with what they're manifesting. So then, but what are they aligned to? Lots of times they're aligned to negative thought and they bring negative things into their lives. And if they don't feel connected at all, they're aligned with something much lower than the divine spirit that they are. And so we say, you have control of yourselves. That means that you have control of where you're going to manifest that, where's your reality going to be. You know people that are very low vibration and hang out in bars or they have addictions of sort. And what happens to their lives? Stand back and watch. just for a minute, you'll get the picture that they're vibrating and they're manifesting at a very low vibration. Well, as you think of a negative thought, it comes down, it goes out, it gathers more negative thought, and then it connects with you and it stays there. But when you vibrate at a higher vibration, the positive comes out, it goes out, it can gathers up more of that, and it comes back and it connects up to that divine spirit, to that divine higher vibration. And then things are brought to you, jobs and even material things, but are brought to you like they say it's a miracle, but it's not a miracle. It's you being you. It's you connecting with you. You are the light at the end of the tunnel. You are the magnificent. You are the kingdom of heaven. When you connect with that, every waking moment, even in your dreams, you're connecting with it. When you do that, you start to see things in synchronicity. There are no coincidences, it's only synchronicities. Well, and then you have to look at yourself and say, where is my vibration for those synchronicities to happen? And if you're at a lower vibration, then that starts lining up with lower vibration synchronicities, doesn't it? Like attracts like. Okay, that's a universal law. So as we have this universal law, we're playing with it every moment of our day. We don't realize how we're manifesting 24/7. So that's why we ask you, please, to be conscious of what you're saying, thinking, and doing, because you're creating with those words, those thoughts, and those deeds. So it's all about vibration. We have control over that vibration, don't we? We have control over who we think, our thoughts. Sometimes we think we don't have control because they're rolling around there pretty good, aren't they? They're kind of tumbling around like a dryer. But we have control over those things. You're not your thoughts. You're not your emotions, and you're not your physical body either. We're light beings, and you, the more you connect with the light being, the more the physical will follow. Wherever the energy goes and you focus is where the energy is going, wherever you focus is where the energy is going to follow. So, and Nancy has said, you know, be careful what you attach the I am to. The I am is your greatness, your divineness. It is all there is, the great I am, the presence, the consciousness. Everything's consciousness, even the chair you're sitting on is some form of consciousness. So why are you hanging on to old stuff? Okay, think about it. Where is your consciousness? Where is your vibration? You can't live in the old anyway, and you're certainly not going to be able to take the old into the new vibration. It won't fit. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. It won't fit because you have to match up, line up to those vibrations. And you want to go to the fifth dimensional frequency of love because it's pretty magnificent. And there's even higher and higher dimensions of love. But we have to take one step at a time. Unfortunately, we can't go to 12th grade after we get out of 4th grade, can we? So, okay. So we have control of everything within us. And we have a God-given choice of how to use energy. How do we use our energy? Well, when we meditate and pray and we're bringing inner peace in ourselves and reflect out love from our heart chakras and from our being, we create a world for ourselves that is full of love. Like attracts like. If you're at a vibration of love, you're affecting 760,000 other vibrations around you. So that's pretty powerful. And that's the way you have control of what your reality is. But it's an inside job, isn't it? We have to start inside. We have to recognize where we want to be. We have to be conscious of the divineness within us in order to get to where we want to be. And when we find that inner sense of peace, we have an inner sense of well-being. And when we have an inner sense of well-being, we bring to form a strong sense of self-control and willpower. The Holy Trinity is the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, right? So there's many other Holy Trinities. And when you look at the Holy Trinity of love, intelligence, and power, or will, that is another Holy Trinity. And think of it as on a triangle, that all of that is equal. And when you balance that, that's when you bring in that divine self-control. You have the magnificent divine love, magnificent divine intelligence that you tap into. And then you tap into the divine will or God's plan. And when you're tapped in, when you have a balance of all those things, then you find that inner peace. You find that divine well-being within yourself. And you get off the emotional roller coaster and you begin to vibrate and to function on what we call the universal way. Now, what does the emotional roller coaster look like? Peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, up and down, up and down, up and down, stressed out, totally feel like you don't have control of what's going on around you, don't have control of yourself, don't have control of your thoughts. When you get into that emotion, you know people that are completely emotionally controlled. That's their emotions control every aspect of them. And they usually are attached to old injuries or traumas and things like that too. Well, when you're on that emotional roller coaster, you don't have control of much of anything, honestly. So, but when you get on the universal wave, it's like this. Okay? The universal wave has ups and downs. We're going to have ups and downs on Earth. We are a physical being. But when you have a sense of well-being, a sense of peace, a sense of in control of who you are and what is going on around you, you're manifesting at a high level, then those downs that come, you find some kind of peace in. You don't get so crazy that you're pacing the floors and you're yelling and screaming. No, you go, okay, so this happened. How can we turn this around? Or what is the good that can come out of this? Because lots of times, if you've ever been in a traumatic situation and you got on the other side of it and you look back and thought, hey, maybe that wasn't such a bad thing, that it moved you along where you needed to be. Like, okay, you got fired, but then you got a better job, or you became your own boss and created your own business. Okay, the universe will tug your arm and tell you it's time to move, not be in this place anymore. Because the universe has the highest and best for you unless you're creating something else. Okay? So the universe will tug on your arm. You don't pay attention to it. Then it'll kind of say, hey, knock you in the head, right? And then if you don't pay attention to it the third time, it's usually going to kick you in the butt, so to speak.
it's really going to hit you harder than if you pay attention to what's going on in your world and pay attention to the signs. There are many signs that come along the way. There are many signs that if you're connected with divine, they give you signs. They'll know who to put in your path. And if you ask, it will be given to you. If you totally believe. If you say, ask and it is given, and you say, yeah, but how's that going to happen? Then it's not going to happen. But if you say, okay, I need to meet somebody that I need for my business to do something, and you say, thank you, that's where your gratitude comes in. And you say, thank you, and expect it to show up. Honey, it's going to show up on your doorstep right away. Most generally. Okay. But when you throw doubt into any situation, into yourself or anybody else, it's like casting a net out onto the water with holes this big in it. You know, there's holes in your belief, in your trust. Surrendering and trusting are going to be one of the best things that you can do for yourself. Is surrender to your divineness and trust that it will be there when you need it. And let me tell you something, sometimes it's at the last moment, isn't it, before it shows up. But that is kind of to test our trust, isn't it? And if we keep trusting and keep trusting, it shows up. Nancy's have some very interesting situations that the day before something was supposed to happen, the money or whatever she needed showed up. And then we get a tickle because she'll say, can you just bring it a little sooner? You know, because we get a little impatient with that when it shows up like that. Yes, but that shows that we trust because we are divine individuals, individual expressions of God, of the source. And we are all that there is. We are the kingdom. When we have control over our emotions, then we begin to make choices outside of our negative emotions, such as fear, unworthiness, anger, or pain. Our energy bodies begin to clear, and we start to see the world outside of our wounds in a clearer vision. This is almost like everything outside of us becomes like a stage play, and we become the observer. And then we have choice as to react or not react. So we have choice as to whether we want to engage or not engage. And many times when it's coming to you in a negative way, the best thing is to step aside and let it pass. Do not engage with that other negativity. Do not engage with the negativity of the world. Don't engage in the negativity of the world with fear or that you're not going to be able to survive. That is not what's going to happen. But if you engage with negativity and fear and anger and pain and sorrow and guilt and on and on and on, then your vibration goes down very quickly and you start manifesting at that lower level again. So envisioning things, invoking things in the beginning of your day. Invoke that it's going to be a beautiful day. You don't necessarily have to have all of this, you know, ceremony when you get up and everything like that. Just say, thank you. And being thankful in the beginning of the morning will invoke for a beautiful day. Or just say, let me be divinely guided. You will be connected right away. Joy and laughter are the one of the things, if you're not having much of that in your life, take time to find somebody who makes you giggle or find something that you find complete joy in. Oftentimes we get very busied in our lives and very involved with what's going on in our lives, and we forget to joke around or to smile or to make someone else smile. Now, smile at yourselves too. Let's all see a big smile today. How wonderful does that energy light up when you smile? When you smile at someone on the street, most of the time they'll smile back at you. Okay? You're using your energy in a positive way just by smiling or making someone laugh when they're down and out, and you tell them a funny story or a funny joke. That raises their vibration and yours too. Joy and happiness are what we came here to be. We came here to be all that we could be. We're having a human experience, so we always need to be patient with ourselves during this process of living on the three-dimensional world. And it's not always easy, but it can be fun and it can be enlightenment. And you can gain enlightenment in one lifetime if you so choose. You don't have to come back and do it over and over again, but that's your choice. We have that choice, don't we? Choice, remember that. Surrender and trust, remember that. For you can bring so many wonderful things into your life with those things, and releasing and forgiving, not only others or situations, but forgive yourself. We're so very hard on ourselves. We want to do things right, and we want to have things in a right way, or we want to make sure this is performed in a right way. But if you can laugh at yourself when you make a mistake, you're enlightening yourself, because that's a way of forgiveness. One time Nancy was singing in a church, in a spiritualist church that she was studying to be a reverend at in Virginia, and there was a woman singing with her, and they both hit the wrong note at the same time. And it was so sour. It wasn't even funny. It was just unbelievable. And Nancy fell over laughing, and she just threw her hands down on her knees and standing up, and she just started to laugh. And the whole congregation laughed with her. And everybody was in a fit of laughter because she knew how to laugh at herself. And there was a mistake made, but it was no big deal. You know, there really are no mistakes. There's only learning lessons. It's what you do with a so-called mistake. That's what counts on the big scheme of things. So on the record of things, if you think, oh, I made a mistake, so big deal. Name one person, one human on this earth that has never made a mistake. Can't do it. Okay? It's a learning curve. It certainly is. And we're all on it, aren't we? And it depends on where you are on the learning curve sometimes about those mistakes, isn't it? So, but be gentle and patient with yourself. You know, we're our own worst enemies many times because we're not patient. We don't give ourselves any leeway. You know, we are perfect just the way we are. That includes the mistakes and the learning curve. That's perfect for you. You're perfectly Sandy. You're perfectly Susan. I'm perfectly Nancy. Perfect Elizabeth, and the rest of you, all perfectly you. Whatever name you want to call yourselves, right? Okay, so here's some things to think about. These are kind of virtues and things to guide. Loving kindness, non-injury with our thoughts and our words and our deeds. Okay. Loving kindness should be the most important thing that you put out with yourself at all times. Now, like Nancy said, you don't have to be a doormat for people. You put your boundaries up, but you don't hurt intentionally with your thoughts, your words, or deeds. You don't hurt intentionally. Okay? If you find yourself going down that path, back yourself up and go back to love. If you find yourself saying, oh, that person, if they hadn't done that, catch yourself. That's when we become the observer of our lives. As soon as we become the observer on our lives, we've stepped onto our spiritual path to ascension. Okay? Because how many people do you know that are a lower vibration and they don't even accept any responsibility for their words, their actions, or their deeds? Okay? The sure sign of a person on their spiritual path is someone who takes responsibility for themselves and becomes the observer and say, well, you did it again and maybe that pattern needs to change. Okay? Accepting people where they are without judgment. Kind of hard to do, isn't it? Especially when they're doing something that is not comfortable or puts you in a situation that's not always the best, or is yelling and screaming at you and claiming that you're not a good person when you know you are. Do we take on their stuff? Or do you leave it there with them? That's their energy. We're in control of our energy, not theirs. So leave it with them. And do not judge. That's their path. They chose that. You know, it's hard to do because we are programmed. We're so programmed on this earth. But as we grow out of that and program ourselves to resonate and to live in loving kindness, then we can look at someone and say, you know, it's really too bad that they might be in this lower vibration or they might do these things that I'm sorry for them. I'm going to bless them. I'm going to forgive them. I'm going to hold them at their highest and best good, because then it holds yourself at your highest and best good. Okay? Like I said, stop complaining, count your blessings. When things aren't going right, it's easy to go down that path to complain about it. But where does that do you? It puts you in a lower vibration. You know? The pain body. That's right. The wounds, the trauma. So, and then we empower ourselves. And once we empower ourselves, we can stand in our own power and peace and love. We're in control of where we are. We're in control of our empowerment. We're in control if someone is standing in front of you, cursing you out, yelling at you, or something went terribly, terribly wrong, and you can see your child hurting or your mate doing the wrong thing, or someone who has an addiction in your life and you love them and you don't want that for them. But we can stay in love and peace within ourselves, and that helps them more than judging them or trying to enable them. We have the choice of how to act or react. Action and reaction are two different things. When you take action in a positive way, that's where you want to be. But if you're reacting, that usually goes to a negative. So act, don't react. Realize the soul's worth. You know that beautiful song at Christmas time? It says that when the soul owned its worth, or when it found its worth. I can't think of the title of it right now, or it's not being brought to me right now, but we have to own our worth, recognize our soul's divineness in order to get where we want to be on this spiritual journey. Do forgiveness as we talk and have gratitude. When we use our power for positive, it comes back to us in many ways, blessing our lives, being conscious of everything you think, do, and say, and you bless your own life. When you think, do, and say, and you're conscious of it and where you're going, you're at becoming a gift to yourself. Being the divineness that you have been granted to be, and holding light, because you're here right now to hold the light, to help the conscious of the world and the ascension of all beings on it. And that's all we need to do. That's all our job that we need to do. That is your job, to be all that we can be. And you don't have to go out there and fight with somebody or stand out on the street and holler about things. All you have to do is raise your consciousness, raise your divineness within, and hold the light.
Another trait.
That's right.
And breathe.
Love the earth, right? Earth is a living being thing. And we're bringing up the consciousness of the earth, and that includes all the plants and the animals and everything on it. It'll all raise. We are the facilitators of that. We're acting as the light workers, the divine ones that came here, that we're meant to be. So with that, we're going to just say a prayer, and then we'll end service. Is there anyone that has anything they'd like to add? Yes.
Yeah. Well, I just had, I just refriended my mom because she kept going over my boundaries. I'm like, this is like fourth time, you just don't even notice them. So I made it where we could speak on Facebook. And I said, I want you to write down what my boundaries are. How many times have I told you, don't do that? And she couldn't, because I says, just be honest and say you don't even know, because there's no penalty for that. It says, you go home and you're happy, you just ignored me. I'm upset. And I said, so we're going to change that. It says, so when you cross a boundary, we go on Facebook and we can talk it out. Because she likes to see me and have me there and do odds and ends. So, yeah, I get it. But you have to respect each other. And so we got there. She got my message. And I'm like, I do not have to come over. We don't have a contract. Because I'm your mother. I said, I can respect you from here.
That's right.
And, yeah, so it's challenging. She's a little bit narcissistic.
That's big.
And yeah, she's and when she's telling me, she goes, oh, I love you. I was leaving, I turned and I go, no, you don't. I said, you know, I clothes, like church, my home, it's a mess, it's this, it's this. I said, when you find something to love, please let me know. I turned to leave and I said, oh, I love you.
Yeah, lots of times people put conditions on their love.
Mhm.
You have to have
So-
that healthy boundary, though.
Mhm. Boundaries are very important in our world, especially the way things are going. And there'll be some separation of the higher vibrational people and the lower vibrational people, unfortunately. But we still can send them love and bless them and bless the earth and all beings on it and connect to their divine spark or their divineness within them. And when we have someone in our lives like you do, David, with your mother, you hold them at their highest and best good regardless. And it's kind of hard to do sometimes.
And detach
Yeah,
with love.
exactly. So, anything else anybody would like to say or add? Go ahead. Hannah.
I've been looking for a therapist for years and I would love to talk to you about my thing.
Oh. Sure.
My teacher is here. I'm so happy.
Oh, namaste.
Oh my God.
Yes, we'll talk after service here. I'll give you my card. All right, I'm going to let spirit leave and we kind of come back into my body. We thank you, Father, Mother God, for this great and wonderful privilege to be here together. We thank the healing angels, the guides, the loved ones, the teachers, the holy ones, the masters, the gurus, the great, great ones, the holy angels, archangels, spiritual helpers, and our designated healing angels for coming forth and working and speaking through us to give us inspiration, upliftment, guidance, healing, divine protection, divine blessings, divine love, and peace and harmony in our hearts. We thank you again, Father, Mother God, for this great and wonderful privilege to be here with these divine souls. So be it, so be it, so be it, and so it is. Amen. Before we leave, we'd like each and every one of you to connect today and give each other a smile and send love into each other's lives. We thank you for letting us come through Nancy and to share with you and to touch into your hearts and your spirits. For you are a gift to us as much as we are a gift to you. We thank you again for this wonderful privilege to be here with you all.